What's up, nerds? Back with another video. In this one, talking about confronting realities, at least, online internet reality versus real life reality. And in today's chapter of that, I went and I saw a Sam Hyde comedy show because I was given a YouTube post that was like, because I follow one of Sam's clip channels because I think it's fascinating how he does all this shorts advertising stuff with all these like different algorithmic things in there. And so I just I was like, hey, this is like, as a content creator wise, I was curious to see how he thought the algorithm would work and how he was trying to game the algorithm, right? Because I try and game the algorithm in my own ways. That's all YouTube is, trying to figure out how to grift Google ads, sneak your way in there, right? And so I saw the Sam Hyde comedy show, Sam Hyde in $1 Million Experience, right? And honestly, Sam Hyde made some jokes I laughed pretty hard at, obviously not gonna lie, right? However, for me, it was the part of $1 Million Experience, Nick, the one with the beanie hat, if you know any of these guys, or just like know peripherally what they look like. He was actually the one that made me laugh harder. He made some pretty fucking funny jokes, and what I liked about Nick was he definitely had like a little bit of racism stuff in there, right? Like racist jokes, but his jokes were more situational comedy and like, I guess, more of a quote unquote pure comedy, you know, like and Sam definitely made like more like edgier jokes. Like that's his thing. Like, I mean, his Twitter handle is @Wigga. I mean, let's be real. And I went to this comedy show not knowing anything aside from Sam Hyde's iDubbbz drama and Sam Hyde's Dear Elon and Dear Vivek videos. And I wanted to really just see, because it's like, okay, I know he's this edgy comedian. I know he's been labeled everything under the book: Nazi, fascist, black guy hater, Jew hater, gay hater, trans hater, all this stuff. However, his Dear Elon video and his Dear Vivek videos, showed me that he does have a personality behind there. And his iDubbbz documentary, I really do believe that, he just really liked iDubbbz. He grew up really admiring iDubbbz, thought who knows if they were friends and how much they would talk, but I definitely think he wanted to be proven wrong by iDubbbz. He wanted iDubbbz to essentially, he wanted to kind of save iDubbbz, this person who he really cared for, really respected, and just wanted to try and, kind of, slap him in the face a little bit, right? And it ended up being that iDubbbz was just gone, just absolutely gone, no hope saved. And then ever since afterwards, they had, they've had some not exactly positive back and forth, where iDubbbz married an OnlyFans creator and a gay OnlyFans creator, a woman who in the past has like had a history of like manipulating everyone she's dated. And then Sam is like, big time into trying to provide for your family, create a family, have a community, do what's best for the country, yourself, etc. And that, continued into those other videos. So anyway, I digress. That's enough of the preamble. So I go and see this comedy show, and I know there's going to be edgy jokes, and I know there's going to be a lot of, hate speech, as they say. And it was honestly more Indian jokes and some black jokes over anything else. Very little Jew jokes, if any. The only Jew joke that I can, because I was kind of going in a little. If I was going in looking for anything, I was waiting for him to just talk about Jews all the time, right? And maybe it's because of the H-1B stuff. Maybe it's because Indians are taking over America, quote unquote. Like maybe that's why it's like the hot new thing is to make Indian jokes. Like, oh shit, I could just say Indian poopy and everybody laugh, hee hee, ooh, poopy Indian. Oh my god, he said poopy Indian. Oh my god. But he did try to talk about some of the stuff about their culture, which who knows whether or not that is what America is destined to become, or what the deal is. But let's see, I'll go around this guy real quick. This 18-wheeler just pulled in front of me about a quarter mile too early and is going extremely below the speed limit, so I have to get out of the way from him. But essentially, it was talking about how there's so many people in the country that if you thought Los Angeles was bad, I've been to LA, and there's a lot of poop in LA. I mean, I went to LA before it got bad with the poop, and there was already a lot of fucking poop in LA. And India has how many hundreds of millions of males? More than it has females. India has how many hundreds of millions of, because India has the class system is pretty bad. So he talks about like the undesirables in India and how whether or not you agree with the premise of the joke, there are literally news reports from fucking Washington Post talking about how India is smearing, like how resourceful it is that they're using shit smeared on their cars to help with overheating, right? And it's just like, I mean, it's like that's not even him being racist. That's the fucking Washington Post talking about how Indians are being creative with their shit. And then are we not going to pretend like Indian culture is fucked up towards women? The amount of rape and the amount of assault and how women, like, I mean, just, it's funny how, when women talk about it, and for Marvel directors and all this shit, it's like, oh, so empowering, and she's finally bringing that topic to the forefront, and then Sam Hyde makes jokes about essentially, two of those things. It's like, well, if Washington Post can talk about how resourceful Indians are with their shit, let's talk about let's make Indian poop jokes. Oh, if, Marvel women can talk about how we need to stand up for women's rights and how much rape and all this shit that's going on in India, well, let's talk about, the Indian Rape Olympics and shit, And so there was definitely the racist towards India aspect of it, right? However, I think it's also he was sticking to the things about their culture that, are we ready for bringing these kinds of things over into America? Are we gonna just sweep that under the rug and pretend like they're all tech geniuses and we need people straight off the boat to save America because nobody works harder and nobody spends more time than Indians, and so that was like first parts of the show. And then afterwards talked about some good old-fashioned black jokes, right? And I think what was funny to me was how he talked about black jokes in the context of the Indian jokes. it's like, whatever happened to, good old-fashioned, like, it's like, we need Tyrone to go against Rajib to remind him what it's like to be treated like in America and shit. And I did think that was kind of funny, like, he did this, these jokes about how, we've got, in the future, we'll have, it's like Marvel Endgame, where the Avengers, went back in time to steal, to do this stuff in the past, and it's like, that's what we need. We need, in the future blacks will go back in time to try and save America from the Indians. Which is just like, obviously incredibly racist, but it's like, at least, the underlying concept, at least I think, is that, at least, blacks have been there, done that. We've incorporated them in. They have gone through shit with us as whites. They've, it's like, it's not just, like, we've come full circle right now where blacks and whites, and really, Asians, Mexicans, all of us, it's now become, it's really the class warfare. That's where we're at the stage. It's like, okay, we've gone through all the hating of each other. We've gone through all the bullshit that's happened in America, all these bullshit systems, all this bullshit regulations, laws, systematic hatred, all this shit, right? And so now we're both on the same team, handshake, buff handshake each other, and it's time to take out the political upper class, the royalty, right? And, it's like, Indians, it's like, we don't have time to go back and reincorporate a whole nother group of people. They're just going to make it worse because they are coming from a class system. And so, we need these time Avenger blacks to go back in time to save us from the fucking Indians. Like, what fucking ridiculous. So fucking ridiculous. And full of hate speech and racism. However, at its core, it wasn't I didn't see it as that far off from reality, especially if we are dealing with this oligarchy, this upper class. If we don't say that it's just politicians, and we extend it to oligarchists and giant corporations, that they are also in on the class warfare, which I think is, fair. They're the people that pay lobbyists, they're the people that pay politicians, right? That, they are essentially bringing in, they're importing, it's like, Indian, the other royalty around the planet, they're getting too close to knocking out the royalty over here. Could you send us some troops? And, Jesus, so, this whole rant was just to kind of mark all this down. I just wanted to get it out of my head. I've got a lot of shit going on the next couple days. I want to be able to fully relax, and this was kind of stewing around in my head and wanted to get it out. So smoke grass, eat house, be excellent to each other. Thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you